Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Cloud, and welcome to my Locals Retro for week 4 of the OP10 Meta. Alright, I know this is way overdue, especially with EB02 already released, but I still wanted to get that week's games out for you. In general, we've just got a lot of catching up to do since I just came back from my trip, so I hope you'll bear with me as I just get through my backlog of videos and catch up as soon as possible with what's going on currently. So without further ado, let's get to it. Since it was right before I left for my trip, I decided to stick with Green Yellow Yamato for week 4. But I did put together a spicy for fun deck. Let's take a look at the deck list overview. As usual, I'll just be highlighting some of the key cards and strategies for this overview, but if you'd like me to go into a full deck list breakdown sometime, let me know in the comments below. This build is what I'm calling Arc Yamato, and that's because it revolves around one key card, the Arc Noah. That's right, forget Noah, it's Yamato's Arc now. For 6 Dawn, the Arc Noah says, on play, rest all of your opponent's characters. That's right, all of your opponent's characters. Doesn't matter if it's a 1 cost or 10 cost, this card can rest everything, which opens up the avenue for us to attack our opponent's life directly. This is extremely valuable when you remember that our leader has double attack built in. Now, 6 Dawn is expensive, so we'll rarely be playing this during our main phase, but this card has a trigger that says play this card. And so if we can somehow stack this into our life, we can wait till it's our opponent's turn, they attack us, and we trigger it, playing it out for free. It will let us rest all of our opponent's characters, which, by the way, helps us stop any follow-up attacks if we can trigger it off one of the first few hits. And then, when the turn passes back to us, we'll be able to attack their life directly. Now, this strategy won't work too well if we're just reliant on the Arc Noah being in our life at the beginning of the game, so we're playing 2 cost Kozuki Hiyori. Not only is it a 2k, but it says you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand, add up to 1 card from your hand to the top of your life. And so this card helps us guarantee that we can stack the Arc Noah into our life. Not only that, it gives us some control as to when it should happen, right? If we're just reliant on the Arc Noah being in our life, it could be at the bottom-most life card or at the topmost life card. But with Kozuki Hiyori, we can choose, at what stage in the game we want to stack the Arc Noah into our life. So, very good card for the strategy that we're going here. Going back to the Arc Noah, this is a stage card, and because it costs so much, for the majority of the game, it's going to be a dead bricked card in our hand. So we need some ways to get it out. The first way is with 2 cost Vanderdecken. On play, you may trash 1 Fishman type card from your hand, or 1 the Arc Noah from your hand or field, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters. Amazing. So this can help us turn our Arc Noah into a way to KO one of our opponent's characters, and it doesn't have a cost restriction. So it doesn't matter what cost the character is, as long as they're rested, we can use Vanderdecken and the Arc Noah, or in some cases a Fishman type, to trash that card and KO up to 1 rested character. So, great way for us to reuse the Arc Noah. Another way to get it out of our hand is Arlong. So, Arlong, it says you may trash 1 card from your hand, up to one of your opponent's rested leaders cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. Great! We can trash the Arc Noah from our hand and stop our opponents from attacking. So, gives us some time to stabilize and be able to reuse the Arc Noah for a better effect. Not to mention that it is a 4 cost slash character, and so we can combine Mihawk with Arlong, playing out the Mihawk and then playing out Arlong for free. Following that, we are still playing 5 cost Nami, which says you may trash 1 card with trigger from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, then if you have 3 or less cards in hand, draw 1 card. Fortunately, like I mentioned, the Arc Noah does have a trigger on it, and so if it's ever a dead card in hand, we can use Nami to trash it and then KO a 5 cost or less, potentially. Finally, we are playing You're the One Who Should Disappear. 0 cost counter event that says you may trash 1 card from your hand up to one of your leader or character cards gain plus 3000 power during this battle. So a way to convert the Arc Noah as a dead card in hand into 3000 counter power. Very nice. Going back now to Kozuki Hiyori, because we are playing this card, we can take advantage of its ability to stack our life and put in some, really good triggers into our deck. Besides the ones that we are already playing in Yamato, the 3 new ones that I want to highlight are Tenguyama Hitetsu, You're the One Who Should Disappear, and Electric Luna. Starting with Hitetsu, this card says up to one of your Land of Wano type leader or character cards gain plus 2000 power during this turn. Amazing, right? So if we're able to stack this into our life with Hiyori potentially, we can gain plus 2000 power for the entire turn if we trigger this card. This helps against some of aggro decks that like to hit for smaller numbers, saving us some cards in hand since our leader is going to be at 7000 power for the entire turn. The next card is You're the One Who Should Disappear. I'm sure you're familiar with this card already if you've ever played against pretty much any yellow deck, especially Enel, but the trigger says if you have 0 life cards, you may add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life, then trash 1 card from your hand. A very good card to stack as the last life in our life so that it helps us try to survive, potentially 1 more attack. Finally, the last card is Electric Luna. The trigger here says rest up to one of your opponent's characters. So it's like a mini Arc Noah, right? If we stack this into our life, we can trigger it and be able to rest any character that our opponent may have. So very good card to have to combine with Hiyori. While I'm on this card, I will say that there is a small combo that you can do with the Arc Noah here. Reading its main effect, it says, all of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 7 or less will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. Say we're in the later stages in the game, maybe 9 to 10 Dawn. We can, if we need to stall out, play the Arc Noah, rest all of our opponent's characters, and then follow up with Electric Luna. If they have a bunch of 7 cost or less characters that are rested, and it won't become active during our opponent's next refresh phase. So gives us 1 turn to try to stabilize, control the board, or maybe just go for game. Finally, there are 2 cards worth mentioning before I wrap this up. First one is Arlong that I actually already mentioned before, but this card is just very nice because it helps us prevent our opponent's leader from attacking. It's a fishman that can combine with Vanderdecken if we ever need to trash it. And, because like I said earlier, it's a 4 cost slash character, we can combine it with Mihawk. It's also a trigger, so, all of our triggers gain a lot of value. And yeah, that's actually pretty much it. The last card worth mentioning is Flame Dragon King. It's a 2 cost event counter that says up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 4000 power during this battle. Then look at all of your life cards and place them back in your life area in any order. It also has a trigger that says you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand. Add up to 1 card from your hand to the top of your life cards. So, starting with the counter event, counter effect. Pretty much the reason why I wanted to put this card in is because our deck really revolves around knowing what's in our life, right? We really need to know if we have the Arc Noah already in it, or if we need to put the Arc Noah in the life. So having this card to be able to check our entire life and reorder it means that we can, get that information, or if, reorder our life if the Arc Noah is already in our life. So I wanted to give this a try. Not to mention that its trigger is also very good. Imagine this. Flame Dragon King is in your life. Your opponent attacks you. You trigger it. you can add one card from the top or bottom of our life card, but the important part is that we can add up to one card from our hand to our life. So it's the Hyoria effect, right? If our opponent has a lot of characters and we're able to trigger this and we have the Arc Noah in hand, we can put the Arc Noah into our life immediately to be able to stop any upcoming attacks. So just wanted to mention that we are only playing one copy of that because there's very little room in this deck to try to fit more copies. 2-cost counter event is kind of expensive as well. With Yamato, we don't really usually leave Dawn up, so just wanted to give it a try. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck overview. Let me put up the entire deck list on screen, and you'll be able to find this deck list in the description below. Shout out to Eggman for this deck builder. You can find it on his website at Eggman Events. So, how did we do for week 4 of the OP10 meta? Well, we had 24 players, 4 rounds, and I went 2-2. That's pretty good considering I had low expectations for my For Fun deck. Here were my matchups. Round 1 was against blue-yellow Portuguese D Ace. Round 2 was against black Rob Lucci. Round 3 was against red-yellow Sabo. And finally, round 4 was against another black Rob Lucci. Against blue-yellow Ace, I won. Against the first black Lucci, I also won. Against the red-yellow Sabo, I lost. And against the second Rob Lucci, I lost as well. In order to keep this video on the shorter side, I'm not going to review each matchup right now, but I'll be posting all of my matchups, win or loss, with my VOD review following this video. So be sure to check it out. Now, let's talk about what went well, what didn't go well, and what's next for me. What went well for me was that I am happy to know that I didn't go 0-4 and actually ended with 2 wins with this deck list, and that the Arc Noah was amazing to pull off. It was the key to my wins. I also somehow got Flaming Dragon King all 4 games, even though I only have 1 copy of it in my deck. It's pretty crazy. And I think I had some decent Hiyori life trigger setups in my matches, so happy with that. What didn't go so well for me was, in hindsight, despite seeing Flaming Dragon King every single game, I think I just held on to it way too long and missed the opportunity to play it when it could have given me the most value. So, kinda lost out there. In the red-yellow Sabo matchup, that was just very hard because they can rush and heal pretty much every turn, but I think more importantly, I didn't establish any characters whatsoever throughout the entire game, so that made it hard for me to have multiple attacks into my opponent. Against the Lucci matchups, even though I won the first matchup, that matchup is just always hard because they can remove characters I play or get out of trigger while establishing their own board, so even though I maybe could have made some better plays, it's just a hard matchup in general. Now for the final thing, this is kind of off topic, but I did not realize EB02 was releasing before I came back from my trip, so kind of in a rush to catch up to all my videos I need to do and catch up to just whatever's going on in the current meta. Finally, what's next for me? The first thing I definitely want to do is to get my week 4 VOD reviews out to you guys as soon as possible so that you guys can watch those matchups. After that, since EB02 just came out, I definitely want to make some kind of Grand Fleet update video since there are a few leaders that are piquing my interest thanks to the new cards. Not only that, but by the time I actually post this video, I've actually already played in my first week of locals for EB02, so I gotta do that retro video and get those VOD reviews out to you guys as well. Finally, while I was gone, I did see a comment that someone would like to see a full Yamato decklist breakdown, so if I have time, I want to make a Yamato in-depth guide. And that's gonna do it for week 4 of the OP10 meta. Sorry again for missing out on the rest of it, but it is what it is, and let's just call it our time skip. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in EB02. Until next time, remember, keep your minds fresh and your spirits free. See ya!